Well, and the fourth reason is because for them to attend means they're looking for something. If I'm going to market for clients one at a time, there's no leverage there. But if I'm going to deliver some value to somebody, I want to do it to 20 people at the same time. So that's why it's so important to build that credibility by delivering something they don't know. This will improve my relationship with my wife or my kids or my business or whatever. So they're going to sit there and learn something. And then at the end, you're going to offer them a complimentary session with you. And now you've built a relationship, not just credibility. Dissatisfaction, you have a problem, and I can fix it.
Welcome back to the Master Business Coaching Podcast, where we explore what it really takes to become a successful coach. Today, we're going to talk about how coaches grow their practice without burning out. Let's be honest, finding new clients can sometimes feel like an uphill battle. Cold outreach, endless networking, social media posts that don't convert. It's exhausting, and it rarely leads to the kind of fulfilling and long-term client relationships that you really want, right? But what if you could attract high-quality clients in a way that's authentic, that's scalable, and actually enjoyable for you and your prospects? So today, we've got Rich Bernstein, the CEO of Master Business Coaching, and we're going to dive into the single most effective client acquisition tool we have seen work for our coaches worldwide, and it's workshops. You'll discover why workshops don't just fill the seats. They build trust, they deliver value, they turn attendees. Tool we see for our coaches work, that we've seen work for our coaches worldwide, and they are called workshops. So Rich, thank you for joining us. Thank you for spending your time with us today. Why do you believe workshops are the most effective tool? Why do you think they're more effective than one-on-one marketing for coaches as they're looking to grow their business?
Well, first and foremost, there's a very important concept in business called leverage. And what people have to learn to do is leverage their time, leverage their team, leverage their money. And anytime you conduct a workshop where you're standing in front of 8 or 10 or 20 people, you are leveraging your time because you're building credibility with 8 or 10 or 20 people at the same time. So that's number one, first and foremost. Marketing individually for client after client after client, you're just not leveraging your time. And the second reason is credibility. And that's typically what's missing is they don't know you from Adam. They don't know me from Adam. They don't know who we are. And why would I work with you if I don't know who you are? Just because I need a coach doesn't mean I need you as a coach. So building credibility is so important. And after a 1 hour or 2 hour workshop, even if it's only 30 minutes, you're building enough credibility that at least they'll do a complimentary session with you. That's all you're trying to do. The third, and this is a very important concept, is that it's so much easier to market for a workshop itself.
Mhm.
Marketing for that workshop is, I don't know if I'm going to hire this guy, but I can listen to a workshop. I can step in or go on Zoom. And if I don't like it, I can always drop off. So those are three very important reasons. Number one is the leverage. Number two, it's so important to build your credibility. And number three.
Okay.
So
Can you explain leverage a little bit for all the coaches out there, all our viewers out there that are not used to the business lingual? What does
Well,
it mean?
leverage means you're being bigger than just yourself, right? If I put money in the bank, I'm leveraging the money where it'll actually make money on its own, not from me. If I hire someone to do a job, I'm leveraging my time because I can't do this and that. And if I'm going to market for clients one at a time, there's no leverage there. I'm going to spend that same amount of time with each and every one of them. If I'm going to spend, let's say, an hour trying to convince them to become a client, I can spend that same hour doing a workshop. And now I have 20 people that say, yeah, maybe I'll work with this guy, or at least I'll have that complimentary session that we offer after the workshop. We always offer that to give them a taste of that one-on-one. But I certainly want to build my credibility by leveraging my time.
Gotcha, gotcha. And how does a workshop increase credibility or create credibility?
because you sound like you know what you're talking about. That's, you're teaching them something they don't know. And anytime you teach someone something they don't know, they go, "Oh, that guy knows something I don't know." So that's why it's so important to build that credibility by delivering something they don't know. At Mars Venus, we're always doing workshops around some type of gender intelligence, whether it's in the workplace, whether it's in at home or relationships, so they learn something practical that they can use. They're going to give you credit for that. They're going to say, "Wow, this guy's amazing. I just learned something that I can take home and improve my relationship or my business or whatever I'm working on." So that is what building credibility is all about. And that's what coaches try to do online without a workshop. That's very difficult to do. I
Hmm.
don't even do that.
I
You
guess you
know,
got to be quite famous to have that credibility to be effective in that kind
right.
of marketing. Okay.
That's right. That's
Okay.
right. And then, unless you're Tony Robbins or
Yeah.
John Gray, you don't have that credibility from being an author, from being a speaker, from all the things that John and Tony have done. They don't
Mhm.
know me from Adam. But if I can have them jump on a Zoom call and in 45 minutes teach them something they never thought about before, or teach them gender intelligence, they're going to go, "Wow, this is good stuff that I could use." Now I have credibility. It's probably
Mhm.
the most important, or let me rephrase it. It's probably the biggest missing factor is credibility of the reason why they don't want to work with you, or they won't work with you, or they don't know you from Adam. But if I'm going to deliver some value to somebody, I want to do it to 20 people at the same time, not one on one. What a waste of my time. That'll take 20 hours instead of one.
Yeah. And I guess this way you also get the right clients.
Well, and the fourth reason is because for them to attend means they're looking for something. You got the right people in the room, whether it's in person or online, is they've already put their hand up in some way, shape, or form that they need something or they're looking for something or they're learning type people. I want to learn something. So you've already narrowed down people that I don't need any help. You've already got rid of those people because they're in a room with you or
Yeah.
they're online with you. So that's
Okay.
the fourth reason.
And can you walk us through sort of the typical journey from a workshop participant to a long-term coaching client?
Yes. Well, first and foremost is they attend the workshop and learn something that they didn't know before. So they're sitting in the audience, they're watching your screen or you talk, and they're going, "Well, this is interesting. I never thought about that," or I could really use this at home, or this will improve my relationship with my wife or my kids or my business or whatever. So they're going to sit there and learn something. Hopefully, you engage them as well. So it's not just a data dump of information. When I do a workshop, I want to interact with people. I want to ask questions. I want to get questions from them. I want to, find out what's stressing them out or what's their biggest challenges. So that engagement is very important. That's number one. So they're sitting there getting this experience, being engaged, and then at the end, you're going to offer them a complimentary session with you, because knowing this stuff and implementing this stuff are two different things. So what I want to talk about at the end of the workshop is how to implement what you learn. And I'm going to have that session with you complimentary. So they have
Mhm.
nothing to lose. So again, you're narrowing down your audience where those that are going to book a call with you, have that call with you, are the right people in the room. They're already showing that they would be a good client. They're engaging, they're participating, and they booked a call with you.
Yeah.
Then we want to teach you how to make that call really powerful. Really
Mhm.
powerful. Have a real clear vision of where they are and where they want to go. And honestly, one of the biggest mistakes that coaches make through that sales process after the workshop is they try to do what's called DF, dissatisfaction. You have a problem and I can fix it. That's a problem. That works in a lot of other industries, that works in other types of sales, but in coaching, it doesn't. What you're missing is the vision. The vision is what people get emotionally attached to. I have this problem, so I'm going to say, "What's your biggest challenge?" And then I want to flip it upside down to that vision. The vision is what they really want. And when I, as a coach, can show them what they really want, Not just what it looks like, but what it looks like, what it tastes like, what it smells like, what it sounds like, what it feels like. And they're physically, mentally, and emotionally there.
Hmm.
Now they want to work with you. The first step is one paid session. So we're
Hmm.
going to take them through a process of a free session and then a paid session. We want to make that free session so powerful, so poignant that they're willing to pay a couple $100 for a paid session. Once you do the paid session, then they're willing to pick a program option. So they got to go through an experience of the right people in the room, building credibility, giving them a complimentary session, giving them a paid session, and now you've built a relationship, not just credibility, through
Nice.
that process.
Yeah. So even before they started, you build that credibility, as you said, you build that
Correct.
trust, the relationship. Yeah.
We've had the workshop, we've had the complimentary session, we've had one paid session. So those three touches not
Hmm.
only build your credibility, and they're getting a lot of value, is it builds your relationship at the same time.
Yeah.
They're not going to do business with you as a coach if you don't build a relationship with them. So it starts off with the building of credibility, and then it goes to a free session that you make really powerful, and then a paid session.
Nice.
Now you're ready to offer your program options.
And you've already mentioned some mistakes. What other mistakes do coaches make when they're trying to run workshops for client acquisition?
I'll be honest with you, the biggest mistake I think people make is not doing the workshop. Even as scared as you are, do it anyway. As afraid as anxiety, I'm just telling you that because you don't get good at it until the third or fourth or fifth workshop. Honestly, I remember my very first one, I was scared to death. And I even talked and swallowed at the same time, if you've ever done that. I went, hi, my name is, and I felt like an idiot. If you're not willing to do that, you're not going to get past that fear, that anxiety of the first couple of workshops until you get comfortable, until you get because here's the thing. People, 78% of communication is nonverbal. So people are not looking at what you say as much as how you say it. And
Mm.
so the first workshop I did, nobody converted. Nobody even did the free session. And then the second one, I think I had one. And then the third one, I had three or four. And then I started they're reading your body language. They're
Mm.
reading your tone of voice, your confidence. And you're not confident in anything you've ever done the first time you did it. But you did it anyway, right? You got on a bicycle. And the first time you probably fell off the bike. I did. I remember. I
Only
remember
one way to
teaching my
learn.
son. He fell over and over and over again. Now he's on a dirt bike every day, flying around the ranch. So I'm just saying that you have to be willing to go through that anxious stage
Mm.
until you get good.
Let's talk, Rich, let's talk a little bit about how the Marksmith system supports coaches in creating and delivering workshops, even if
Well,
they've never
first of
done
all, we teach you how to market for them so that you can get at least 8, 10, 12 people, whether it's online or in person. So the
one.
marketing is very important, how you position. And like I said, it's a lot easier to market for the workshop than it is to market for your coaching services. So we teach you how to do that marketing. We give you all the templates and everything that you need. And then we actually role play and rehearse the workshop so that you get a little comfortable with the slides, with what it says, with the content, so you can build a little bit of that confidence before you do your first workshop. And then we're right there holding your hand doing that workshop. Many of our coaches around the world will attend it online with you and they'll encourage you. We have WhatsApp groups that, they support each other. And so that's the main thing is you're not doing it alone. Number one, you don't have to market alone. Number two, you don't have to create the workshop itself alone.
Mhm.
That takes
What does that
time.
mean? What do you mean you don't have to create it alone?
Well, if you're by yourself as a coach and you want to follow the workshop model, which is very successful, you have to create a workshop. That
Mhm.
takes time and energy and effort and research and you have to do all that and it might not be a great workshop. Ours are being used around the world. We have 7 of them in 7 different topics that you can do one or two of them or all of them. And you can do a different one every month or a different one every week. So the bottom line is you don't have to create anything. You turn on the PowerPoint, you email the workbooks, you email the presenter's notes are all there for you. So everything that you need, you don't have to recreate the wheel.
Right. Yeah, I see that quite helpful and very time saving, very
Oh,
time efficient,
I
right?
know coaches that have told me you're frozen. I know coaches that have told me that they created workshops before they became a Mars Venus coach because they were on their own. And that
Mhm.
was really hard, very difficult, took a lot of time, took them a couple months to build it. And then they join Mars Venus and they plug and play. They literally just turn on the screen.
Right, right. Cool. Well, Rich, before we finish our session today,
Yeah.
what's one action a coach can take this week to start leveraging workshops to fill their practice? What's one
Either
thing?
start marketing for one or give us a call. Oh, Roxy just stood up. So she wants you to give us a call. And I'm telling you, book a call with us. We can show you the workshops. We can see whether it's valuable to you, whether you could see yourself delivering them. Because I'm telling you now, for those first four reasons that I mentioned, you'd be crazy to go out and try to market yourself
Hmm,
or your services.
fantastic.
It's so much easier, and you've built your credibility, you've built your confidence at the same time. You just plug and play, and now you're delivering workshops, and it
Yeah,
builds your confidence at the same time.
absolutely. I mean that the system definitely works. Everybody who sells anything in a high pricing kind of setting uses workshops, uses webinars because it does
Some
that.
of my biggest clients came from workshops
Mm,
because they
yeah.
said, I want to work with that guy who just taught me something.
Thank you, Rich, for all the information. Very valuable again. If you're interested in talking to us, you'll find a link in the show notes to book a call to speak to one of our team. It's not a sales call. In fact, you wouldn't be able to sign up on the first call, even if you wanted to. We always have two calls because we want to make sure it's a good fit for both of us. So book a call, find out, if you're curious what it is like to be a masterminds coach, we can talk about that and show you what it's like to be a successful masterminds coach.
Excellent.
Um, Thank you, Rich. Make sure you turn in again next week, next Tuesday, when we're back to talk about coaching and how to build a coaching practice.